god, and it makes sense that his temple is actually highly elevated. It's way up on this artificial mound with a few earlier examples underneath it. But during the Uruk period, this massive platform is built with sloping facades and paneled with niches and approached with a massive staircase. You can see here the example of it, and then this reconstruction. On top of the platform is a temple which is known as the White Temple. It's called the White Temple because it was painted white. It was actually whitewashed with plaster and gypsum. And the plan of this temple is very similar to what we've seen elsewhere, right? Another tripartite temple, 17 meters by 22 meters. In fact, exactly the same size as that little tripartite temple stuck onto the top of Temple C in the Eanna complex. This building is interesting for a number of reasons. In the east corner of it, the body of a leopard and a young lion were found buried in the lower courses of the wall. They appear to be some sort of sacrifice, or what we would call a foundation deposit to the dedication of this temple. We're going to see many, many foundation deposits. When you build a palace, when you build a temple, you have a series of rituals that go into ensuring that structure is going to be sacred, that it's not going to fall down, and these rituals often involve the burying of sacred objects. So we have probably the first example of a foundation deposit here. The platform itself is over 13 meters high, and with the white painting, this gypsum paint or plaster on the outside of it, it would have been visible for miles and miles in every direction. And what we're really seeing here is, in many ways, the very first ziggurat. Ziggurat is a term you're probably familiar with, these terraced temples in Mesopotamia. And this is probably the precursor to them. And we'll be looking at ziggurats in depth over the course of the semester. Uruk influence spreads elsewhere. At Eridu, we see the temple expanded. It's decorated with the same cones and columns we see here at Uruk. At Tel Uker, we see another temple similar to this one, tripartite on a mound, and actually, instead of decorated with cones, painted with these beautiful paintings inside, painted with big cats, actually leopards, which recall the foundation deposits that we're seeing here. So you can see a comparison between the White Temple and the Eridu Temple. And this is an excavation photo from the inside of the White Temple at Uruk during the Jemmet Nasr period. So some Uruk period hallmarks so far. We see the expansion of the city of Uruk to great proportions, the beginning of our true first cities, the introduction of writing, the use of cylinder seals, new agricultural techniques like long-field farming and cedar plows, the introduction of the slow potter's wheel, all of these things that go hand in hand with the Sumerian epic that talks about the foundation of cities and the foundations of civilizations. In myth, we have Inanna receiving these attributes, receiving the maize, and now we see them archaeologically at this site particularly. So we're going to keep looking at Uruk over the next couple of sessions, and specifically look at how Uruk culture expanded farther than any other civilization has up until this point. So we'll pick up there next time. We'll talk about writing, and yeah, have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. We got a couple minutes too before we break. Any questions about any of that? About these sites, about these objects? Okay, good. And everybody's been able to access BSpace and all the articles? No trouble? Okay, great.